For section 1.3, we're going to simplify and then solve an equation. You guys have gotten pretty good at solving two-step equations, so we're just going to simplify it and then turn it into a two-step equation so that we can solve it. Okay, so I see parentheses. If I see parentheses with a number in front, I know I'm going to distribute. So I'm going to distribute this and this. So I'm going to get 3x minus 3 times 10 is 30. And I'm going to bring down the equals and the 9. Okay, now that I simplified the expression on the left side, now it's a two-step equation, and I'm going to solve it like I normally solve a two-step equation. So to cancel the minus 30, I'm going to plus 30. So 3x equals 9 plus 30 is 39. Okay, and then since this is 3 times x, to cancel the 3 times x, I divide by 3 on the left and the right, and I end up with x equals 13. Okay, so once we simplify, then it becomes a two-step equation. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and look at example 2. Example 2 says 2x plus 10 minus 8x equals 34. And sometimes there is more than one way to solve it, and as long as you're showing me your steps, it's a good way. Okay, now if I look at the left side of the equation, I see an x here and I see an x here. I'm going to go ahead and combine those first before I go on and solve the equation. If you do it differently, that's fine, but do show your steps. Okay, so I see I have a 2x and a minus 8x. 2x minus 8x is negative 6x. Okay, I'm going to bring down the plus 10 and the equals and the 34. Okay, now I have a two-step equation. I know how to solve a two-step equation, so I'm going to go ahead and solve it. What's 34 minus 10? 24. Okay, negative 6 times x, so to cancel the negative 6 times, I'm going to divide by negative 6. X equals, and there's one negative on my fraction, so I'm going to keep one negative on my answer, and then 24 divided by 6 is 4. So x equals negative 4 is my final answer, and your work could have been a little different, and we should have gotten the same result. Okay, I'm going to move it up to the next two. Okay. Example 3, it looks messy, but it's going to be very similar. Okay, I can see there's an x here, there's parentheses, so I'm going to simplify this side first. Since I see parentheses, I'm going to do the distributing first, and then I'll see what I can do next. Okay, so if I distribute 6 times x, 6 times 2, I get 6x minus 6 times 2 is 12. Okay, I'm going to bring down this plus 5x and the equal sign and the 43. Okay, now I want to see if it looks better now. Okay, I'm looking at, oh, I see the x is here, but the x is also here. So I'm going to go ahead and combine the x's before I start solving it. So I have 6x plus 5x. 6x plus 5x is 11x. Okay, now I'll bring down the minus 12 and the equals and the 43. Okay, now I can start to solve this because it looks like a two-step equation. Okay, I see 11x minus 12. I'm going to cancel the minus 12 by adding 12 to both sides. See, 43 plus 12 is 55 equals 11x. Okay, since I have 11 times x, to cancel 11 times x, I divide 11. Okay, 55 divided by 11 is 5 equals x. Or you can write x equals 5 if you prefer to have it the other way. Okay, now I'm moving to example 4, and I'm going to throw some negative terms in there. Okay, first, I'm just going to see what side has x on it. I see this side has x's on it. Okay, but it definitely needs to be simplified, and because I see parentheses, I'm going to do those first. Okay, I'm going to distribute, but I'm going to be careful because this 2 has a minus in front, so this is treated like a negative 2. So this is negative 2x, and then negative 2 times minus 10 makes it positive 20. 2 times 10 is 20, and then the 2 minus is canceled. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and bring down the rest of the equation, everything I left alone. Okay, let me see if I can get the x by itself now. I still have these x's together, so I'm going to simplify a little more. Let's see, I have 9x minus 2x. 9x minus 2x is 7x. Okay, I'll bring down the plus and the 20 and the equals and the 6. There it is, there's my two-step equation. I see a two-step equation, I know I can do it. Let me minus the 20. Okay, 7x equals, well, that's going to be negative 6 minus 20. And then if I subtract, I get 14. So 7x equals negative 14. Since it's 7 times x, I'm going to divide by 7. Okay, and since there's one negative on my fraction, I'm going to keep one negative on my answer. And then 14 divided by 7 is 2. Okay, and if it didn't divide, I would leave it as a fraction because, as you know, I do like fractions, which is why I'm giving you one on the next one. Okay, for example 5. I gave you a fraction. Okay, so I see the x's over here, but I see parentheses. I'm going to have to distribute it. Not only am I going to have to distribute it, but I gave you a fraction to distribute. Okay, now remember, you don't have to do all the steps I do, but I really like to put the little 1 here because it helps me keep track of my numerator and my denominator. Okay, if you don't need that to help you, that's fine. Okay, now when I distribute this times this, I have to distribute the numerators and the denominators. So if I do the numerators, 5 times 2x is 10x. And then on the bottom, 2 times 1 is 2. Okay, I'm going to bring down the minus sign. Okay, then let's distribute the next one. I have to distribute the numerators and the denominators. So in the top, I have 5 times 6. 5 times 6 is 30. Okay, on the bottom, I have 2 times 1. 2 times 1 is 2. Okay, then I'm going to bring down the rest. Okay, now this looks really bad, but if I remember that fractions just mean divide, and if I can divide it, the fractions will go away. I'm going to try. Okay, if I do 10x divided by 2, 10 divided by 2 is 5, and I'll keep an x on it. That looks a lot better. Okay, 30 divided by 2 is 15. Perfect. Okay, let me bring down the equals and the 40. Okay, now I see a two-step equation. I know what to do for two-step equations. So I'm going to cancel the minus 15 by adding 15. Bring down 5x equals 40 plus 15 is 55. Okay, and then I'll divide by 5 on both sides. I get x equals 55 divided by 5 is 11. Okay, that's a good answer. Okay, we're going to do one more example, and then I'll give you some ones to practice on your own. Okay, now let's look at this one. Okay, so I see the x's here, and I see all this stuff here. Now, even though I really want to do 5 minus 2, it's like begging me to do it. I cannot do it because I have to distribute first. Okay, I have to leave that 5 alone. I have to distribute first. So when I simplify, distributing is the first thing I should be doing. So I'm going to distribute first. Okay, now if I distribute first, I have to be careful because that 2 has a minus in front of it, so it's really a minus 2x. Okay, minus 2 times 7 makes this minus. 2 times 7 is 14. Okay, let me bring down the rest. Equals 11. Okay, now I can see the x. The x is by itself. That's a minus 2x. I think I'll put that first. You wouldn't have to put it first, but I'm going to. Okay, now I see that there's a 5 here, and there's a minus 14, so I am going to combine those. Let's see, 5 minus 14, that's going to be negative, because 14 is bigger than 5. And if I subtract them, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, I get 9. Okay, let me bring down the equals and the 11. Okay, now this looks okay. I can deal with this. Okay, I'm going to add the 9 over. Okay, let me bring down negative 2x equals 11 plus 9 is 20. Okay, to cancel the negative 2x, I'm going to divide by negative 2. X equals, since there's one negative on my fraction, I'm going to keep one negative on my answer. And then 20 divided by 2 is 10. Okay, and again, if it didn't divide, I would leave it a fraction, but those all divided. Okay, once you have those examples down, you're going to go ahead and do some practice problems. Okay, so these are the practice problems. In your notebook, go ahead and put them just under the examples. Okay, remember these are always available on Canvas if you go to the table of contents. The answers are on the bottom, so as you're working them, check your answers and make sure you're doing them correctly.